Yeah, I just did a bunch of talking and y'all didn't hear nothing I said. Good afternoon, you guys. Welcome. I'm so sorry. Like that whole time I was talking and y'all couldn't hear me. Anyway, we are here to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We will be just recapping the first few episodes, just hitting the hot spots. We're hitting the hot spots. We're not going to hit every single thing, but I have my co-panelist from the Whether You Like It or Not panel is here with me tonight. Yes. But y'all know y'all. Hey, what's up, Cams? Hey, everybody. Mwah. But y'all know y'all because he was here when we were doing our Real Housewives of New Jersey. He got me through the Real Housewives of New Jersey, honey. And we might have to have ask him a couple of questions. Thank you, everybody, about the New Jersey situation. Some things have leaked out about New Jersey, but we're going to get into these Beverly Hills women first, honey. Now, we said we'd be back for Beverly Hills. We haven't been able to do it every week, but we are here now, and we're going to get y'all all caught up on what has been going on over to Beverly Hills. How you doing, y'all?
I am doing good.
I know you had a rough couple of weeks, but I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad we've been able to link up this week.
So for those who don't know, the reason that y'all really haven't seen me the last 2 weeks is my aunt passed away. So literally we were dealing with that for the last 2 weeks. Her funeral was on Friday. So I'm just happy that all of that
is a lot. Yes, y'all is disappearing right before our eyes. That's what I said too when he came up on the screen. Now remember what he told y'all. He was military for how many years?
11.
He was military for 11 years. So he said that he know how to lose the weight, but he let himself enjoy not having to worry about it for a few months plus COVID. And now he's, back on track. So yes, he is literally melting before our eyes. But yes, I definitely want to extend our condolences. I know I talked to you privately, but definitely want to extend the condolences to you and your family and hope that everybody is dealing with it well. Lil Baby is here. She's patching us in from a secret location, so you're not going to see her avatar, but she is here to jump in when she can jump in. Now, I'm going to say this about Lil Baby. Some of y'all might be like, why Lil Baby get to come up there? But listen, Lil Baby has been rocking with me from the beginning of the Beverly Hills. She was one of the few subscribers who commented every week, honey. And when Lil Baby comments on your video, she's commenting as she's watching. So you might get 3-4 comments because as she's watching, she's like, and another thing. And I didn't like that either.
But listen, you got to get that engagement up so you can show up on the recommended feed.
Oh, listen, I'm not complaining. I promise you I'm not complaining. But definitely, so that's why she was one of the people who I know she has the institutional knowledge. And so we are here. We're here to talk about it. So listen, this is what we're going to do. Since we haven't been here from the beginning, we're going to kind of just go through what's been happening. We're going to end with Miss Erika Jayne, like I said, for obvious reasons. But we are going to kind of go through what's been happening and bring us up to speed. If you do not watch the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all need to get into it, okay? These women, listen, y'all need to get into Beverly Hills if y'all not into it. First of all, can I say that the best thing that has happened to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in probably 5 seasons has been Kathy Hilton?
Yes.
Listen.
Absolutely.
Listen.
It is in the camera.
So here for Kathy Hilton.
She is a hoot. Okay.
Like she's not even trying to be. That's what makes it better. This is just her.
Listen, when they said that she talks in shorthand last night's episode, they said she talks in shorthand. And she said, well, you just got to do that because you never know who's listening. And I understand what she's talking about because when you're at these restaurants, the waiters, they send tips to TMZ and the paparazzi. So I understood what she was saying. But even in that moment, it was still freaking hilarious.
I couldn't get over her getting in Kyle's bed with some chips and a Red Bull. And she gonna say, oh, I thought this was a soft drink.
No, the fact that she climbed into her bed and was reading newspapers. First of all, who the fuck still reads newspapers? And you traveled with them. Like, you put those newspapers in your luggage.
And let's not forget, it was 1 a.m. This was in the afternoon. This was when the sun came up. Everybody's in the bed.
Right. How about the eardrops in her eyes, though? Who does that? But let me tell y'all, the best thing she's done all season was that damn practical joke at the table. Because I just knew she was drinking that vodka for real. I just knew. I said, oh, she's gangster.
I thought they were old season drunk.
Right. That's exactly what I thought. I said, oh, Kathy just said, oh, drunk. That's why we getting the drops in the eyes and the Red Bull at 1 a.m. She just a good old drunk.
For a minute, I was about to be like, oh, I want to drink with her until...
Because listen, I had to check, I had to check myself because they were making such a big deal about her guzzling that drink, and I was thinking, that's not a big deal. I was like, am I drunk? Because I was like, what's the big deal? I didn't see what the big deal was. I was like, am I drunk right now? Ciao. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. So, all right, so let's get into it. So we have another new housewife this year, Crystal Minkoff, I believe. Her husband directed The Lion King, and that's all you really need to know. Like, he's a big time. He's been working for Disney since like the 80s. He directed The Lion King and a bunch of other ones, but I think we could stop at Lion King. I think we can. That's kind of like saying, oh, so-and-so won a bunch of awards and an Oscar. Well, we don't care about the rest of the awards. They won an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who cares? Who cares if they won, they won an Oscar.
Unless you're an EGOT, we don't care about the other.
Well, yeah, unless you're an EGOT. Now, if you're an EGOT, that's a, But yeah, so, all right. So we get introduced to Crystal. I'm not going to go through the whole first episode. Y'all know the whole first episode is just a bunch of, what are you doing? Let's get caught up, yada, yada, yada. The only thing that really went down in the first, go ahead, y'all.
No, we're actually on episode 3.
Say what?
Am I good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. What happened?
We're actually on episode 3. So we should actually be picking up from Crystal saying to Sutton, please tell me you're a girl.
Right, okay. You're right. My bad. We did already talk about all that. Okay, my bad. Yeah, so that's what we pick up with the whole conversation with Sutton and Crystal. Now, listen, let me tell you something. I was here for that whole conversation. I feel like, again, I've said this before, I feel like we've got to stop shying away from uncomfortable conversations. I think that's part of the problem. The minute somebody wants to talk about race, then it becomes I don't see color. I'm just this, and I don't do this, and I don't do that. And the reality is, I really need white people to understand that it is just as offensive to say, I don't see color as it is to say, but I have Black friends. Like, I need people to understand that that's just as offensive to us. Dr. Britton, I heard Dr. Britton say this summer on that Bravo race special that they did. And she said, when people say to her, I don't see color, what that translates in her mind is, then I'm invisible to you. Then you don't see me at all. Because I'm colored. I am a color. And so that kind of stuck with me. I'm like, that's the best explanation. And I need white America to understand. So I need y'all to stop apologizing before we offend you. Like Crystal hadn't even said anything offensive.
Right.
And Sutton was already ready to apologize and justify why she's not racist.
But the funny thing with that, though, is in rewatching that scene, Sutton could have just got up and walked away. She didn't even have to say anything.
Right. Because it really wasn't about her.
Because as she got up and walked away, we wouldn't have had that moment. But the thing is, what happened is she internalized that, because that whole situation was literally Crystal saying, as an Asian American woman, I may not understand Garcelle as an African American woman, but I understand the struggle because our paths are somewhat similar. We're on two totally different paths, but we're going in the same direction.
Facts.
And that's all that she was trying to say is just saying, I understand why she may have felt uncomfortable. Now, if you're feeling uncomfortable with the topic, first and foremost, if you feel uncomfortable, you need to check yourself and ask yourself, why am I feeling uncomfortable in this moment? Why is this conversation making me uncomfortable? But at the same time, all you had to do is get up and walk away, go into the other room.
Facts. So, because it wasn't your conversation, it really was about Garcelle. Like, that's how that whole conversation started. But little baby, go ahead and say your piece, because I know you got something to add, boo.
I really don't. Y'all said it.
Oh, okay. The last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna move on. We're not gonna beat that dead horse. But the last thing I am gonna say, because I think I've told this story before. I'm not gonna go through the whole story again. But again, white people, I need you to understand, when we say white privilege, you don't see it, and that is the definition of it. So when a black person or a person of color is trying to show you the privilege, listen and hear it. So when Garcelle said to Kyle, you accusing me of not paying my bills, to you it was just a dig and you were trying to get at me, and I get that. I am not accusing you of racism, but what I need you to understand is that when you say that to a black woman, it has a different weight on it than when you say it to a white woman. The same as when you use the description angry at a black woman, it has a different weight on it. And so in that conversation, and what I can appreciate from Kyle is that she said, I didn't see it that way. I hear you. Now, she may not have understood it all, but for the purposes of the conversation, she was like, and when Crystal asked her, well, did you feel bad when you said it? Kyle said, at that time, I didn't. I feel bad now after talking to Garcelle, but when I said it, no. That's an honest answer, and I can appreciate that, you know? So they're at Lake Tahoe. Now, that was a beautiful home down to the Lake Tahoe, honey. It was absolutely gorgeous. The next day, the ladies went on the little go-kart thing on the tracks, the little go-kart thing. I don't know how else to describe that. You could tell that they were grasping for things to do. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell that they were just grasping for things to do in Tahoe, because if that's the best thing that y'all could come up with, but I mean, they were in the middle of COVID, and maybe certain things just weren't open and didn't want to accommodate a large group, which I could respect. They went back to the house that night. Now, Garcelle got on my nerves because Garcelle, when she made those comments about Paris, Kathy was better than me.
She could have worded that differently. She could have said something along the lines of, I always suspected Paris to be a little bit rude because she was on her phone, but I never knew why she was always on her phone at every event. Like, she could have phrased it a little bit differently, because she borderline said, listen, I always thought your daughter was a bitch. She was right there.
Right. And I don't even know if I would have used the word rude, because rude is one of those words that would automatically put somebody on the defense as well. I think you talking about my child and you use the word rude, I'm going to be defensive. But I think but I agree. There was a way she could have said what she said without it coming off. I felt like Garcelle in that moment, the way you said it was a bit much. I just think the way you said it was a bit, because here's the reality. Kathy is not in denial about her child being a wild child. Like, I don't think she's in denial about that. And so I feel like if Garcelle had said something along the lines of, I met Paris, when she was partying and at a party, and I was surprised because I expected her to be this wild child on the dance floor, but she was off to the side on her phone the whole time. That was a different way of saying that, but you're kind of, you know what I'm saying? But again, Kathy handled it, because did you notice how Kathy ain't say shit? Kyle was the one that jumped in. Kathy was like,
I think it's because Kyle knew her sister.
Yes.
And Kyle was trying to hurry up and let me hurry up and put this fire out before things go left. But I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to upset everybody, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't speak the truth. part of me feels like Garcelle was capitalizing on the fact that she is the only African-American woman there and was willing to go that route and say it without, she pretty much like knew the conversation she had already had with Kyle. Pretty sure everyone there knew about it. So I guess she didn't think nobody was going to jump down her throat.
Yeah. She has created an environment. She's done, because I agree. I think Garcelle's starting to get on my nerves because I feel like she says things that she purposely throws grenades and knows they're going to blow up.
And I'm gonna jump ahead a bit because she said two other things that were very, very rude. One, I laughed my ass off because I had thought of it, but myself, because when
Erika
she asked them about when she asked about the nose jobs, I thought that was rude as shit.
Very rude. First of all,
who's come out here and got plastic surgery? The fuck? Really, man?
Right. And like Erika said, who the fuck is about to, like, the fuck? I thought that was rude. But what I was going to say was that Garcelle has created an environment of fear almost. She's gotten them to a point where it's almost like they're scared to say something to her because now they don't want to be, oh, well, am I saying something offensive to the Black woman? It's almost like she's gone in the opposite direction, in my opinion. Because I feel like now she says stuff because she knows that they're going to be scared to check her.
Yeah.
Because, like, even what she said, I'm jumping ahead. I think this is probably what you was going to say, little baby. That was a rude-ass comment she made about Erika staying married because the man about to die. That was rude.
Now, granted, I thought it, and I laughed my ass off when she said it out loud.
Yeah.
But me personally, amongst a group of friends, I would have not said that.
Right. That was just rude. Especially, let's be clear, those women ain't all friends. Some of them.
Oh, they very surface.
Right.
They are very surface. That's why Erika didn't tell them anything.
Right. Some of them have relationships outside of when they're filming, but the vast majority of these ladies see each other for the 12 weeks that they are filming, and they go about their happy little life the rest of the year. They see each other for a reunion. You know, they participate in whatever press they got to do. Go ahead, y'all.
Then to go to that surface fact, I remember that one reunion where they basically said we made a pact to where we basically wouldn't spray each other with each other's dirt. So that right there, they're not close like that. They just do enough for the show. They have an alliance for the show because you're not going to tell me that everybody and their mama around Erika and Tom knew Erika and Tom were having money problems, knew the man was getting sued out of the wazoo. I'm not even hearing that Erika, that word on the street was Erika was planning on filing for divorce a month before she even filed. So all this mess was going on around them, but the cast didn't know. No, they knew, but they have some sort of pact to where they weren't going to come on camera and say it.
Go ahead, y'all. You was going to say something. Go ahead.
I lost it.
I'm sorry.
No, I was enthralled with what little baby was saying. I was all caught up in that.
Right.
Oh, I've been following this mess. I've been following it.
Right.
I've been following it.
So later on that night they go to dinner. And we jumping all over the place, y'all, but I'm trying to keep us on track. Later on that night they go to dinner, and that's what we have. Okay, y'all. That's what we have, the infamous practical joke, right? So Kathy Hilton plays the practical joke on the ladies where she pretends to drink martini. I'm gonna shorten this up because I feel like I already talked about this a little bit. Where she pretends to drink this martini and guzzle it down. She brings Dorit in on the joke, and then Dorit brings Erika and Lisa Rinna in on the joke. And by the end of the night, everybody was in on the joke except for Sutton and Crystal. Now, Crystal figured it out. Crystal kind of was like, I know good and damn well all these women ain't just guzzling martinis like that. Sutton had no idea what was going on. Now, let me say this from Sutton's point of view. I understand why Sutton got upset. I'm not saying to the extent of how she acted, but when you're sitting in a group and you can clearly tell because this has happened, especially now with modern technology, and people will text each other in a group. We've had it happen. If Abby's still in the chat, she'll know what I'm talking about. We've even had it happen when the Justice League interviews people, and we can literally like tell that conversations are being had among people we're interviewing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen people do that where they text each other or whatever. Sutton knew that there was that there was some joke that she wasn't in on. She just thought the joke was about her. She didn't realize that the joke wasn't about her. So from that point of view, I understood her being upset because I would have been upset. Now, to the extent that she showed her ass, I don't agree.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Like you said, I understand her being paranoid because we also have to remember she and Crystal had their little tiff, so she wasn't quite settled with how they had left things. So
I'll be right back, y'all. This is my mom.
Okay. So the paranoia was high. But like you said, she didn't have to take it that far. Like, it was a joke, man. Once you find out it was a joke, all you had to do was calm down. That is my issue, and that has been my issue with Sutton. She keeps wanting to press issues. She keeps wanting to let them linger on, and it's like when you find out that the situation isn't as dire as you thought it was, relax, calm down, get off the gas. But at the same time, Miss Crystal, I see you. I see you. You're not a dummy, ma'am. You were propositioned to be a madam, and you weren't even 30 years old. You're not a dummy, ma'am. You know exactly what you're doing. You hitting back too. I see you. But with that being said, I'm dropping off. And before I leave, I just want you all to understand this. While y'all are stockpiling your lighter fluid and your charcoals, and you done got your ribs marinated, you got your chicken ready to throw on the grill, go buy Avon and stock up on your skin salt.
I love my mom. Thank you so much, little baby. I love my mom. Y'all know how she working, honey. Even when she on the battle, she's still working. Okay, little baby. Well, thank you for dropping in and giving us your insight, hunty.
All right, guys. You might see me in the chat. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye. Yeah. So go ahead, y'all. How did you feel about Miss Sutton's? I know you already told me how you feel about Sutton overall, but let me tell me how you felt about Miss Sutton's response to the practical joke and all of that.
Well, part of me just feels that Sutton is a professional victim. Like, that is the space that she exists in, because it seemed like she is literally pulling drama to her that she doesn't need. Now, being at the table and feeling excluded, I can understand that too. The difference with me is I just don't give a fuck. I mean, I really don't. I think I didn't mention on here how and I know somebody gonna be like, oh, he just gonna throw it out there like it ain't nothing, but it ain't nothing. But when I was in Lithuania, you know, with my team and whatnot, hell, I just went up, grabbed my food, and moved to a whole nother motherfucking table and sat there by myself till it was time to leave. Like, certain stuff like that is not going to faze me. And if it does, me personally, I do a lot of self-reflecting. So I try to go in with just like, okay, well, y'all, why the hell do you feel the way right now? And I wouldn't have been upset per se, but what I would have done is the first chance I got, I would have gathered it. I would have gathered my thoughts first, gather everyone, and just asked them and just been like, look, I was sitting there. I noticed some things. I'm just asking, with what was going on the table, did it have anything to do with me? No, it didn't. Or it was a joke. Cool. Let's move on. Just that simple. Whereas, like, I'm not going to let this thing linger. I'm going to try to go ahead and kill it in the bud so we can go ahead and move on. But it just seemed like she just needs to be, I don't want to say the center of attention, but it's just like she's just a professional. Like, woe is me. Here's the drama. This is this is that. We got bits of that last season, and that can be tiresome.
Yeah, so the whole she kicked me, that took me out. I was like, girl, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, what are you talking about? But she kicked me like a little kid. Girl.
But at the same time, it almost seemed just a little bit of, I'm trying to fan the flames such a way for me to get rid of you. Because like you're making this a big deal. Unless she left a fucking bruise, ma'am. Come on now.
Well, not only that, but my thing is, you have to know you don't have that kind of pull. Like Sutton, you so low on the totem pole, you can't get nobody hired or fired. Like you barely got yourself a diamond. Because remember, she was you weren't around. She was a full housewife last season and got demoted to friend of the show. She got bumped back up this season, partially, yeah. So, like, girl, you barely here. You barely here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, like now I'll be honest, I didn't know that she was a housewife and was demoted, but I knew by how much they showed of her last season, I knew that she was a strong candidate, and maybe she didn't have enough to secure it.
She came on at the end last season, but what happened was the reason why she got demoted is because her husband is like a gazillionaire. Like I forget. He's like part owner of a Major League Baseball team, and like he's a gazillionaire, like he's rich as hell. And they were going through a divorce last season, but he refused to film.
Okay.
Y'all know how they do. They thought they were going to get this whole storyline about the divorce. And notice she's very careful about how she speaks on her divorce. Like she talks more about it this year. But last year, because it's settled this year. But last year she was still going through and she wasn't really talking a whole lot. But this year she's very much, and she still doesn't really have like the kids. Like we know she has a child, or at least I'm not even sure she has more than one. But yeah, so we have seen more this year than we did last year. But anyway, so that's what happened with that. And so the important thing to know about that is later on that night, Sutton tried to be nice and decided that she was going to take Crystal her coat. We see her knock on the door, and then we see her open the door, and we see her say, Crystal, you're okay. And she takes her the coat. Now, we see the next episode, we see more footage, and we see Sutton say, I don't know what's going on in here, girl. And then she leaves out. Like it literally was a 10-second exchange, if that long. Now, was Sutton wrong for walking in that woman's room if she didn't say come in? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But do I think it was on the level that Crystal tries to make it out to be in the next couple of episodes? No. But so the next episode, they go out on the lake. The only thing that really happens on the lake is we once again see Erika spinning the narrative. She's talking about how much Tom loves being a lawyer and how great Tom is. And I was like, okay, I see you. Okay. But then we have the conversation between Crystal and Sutton. Now listen, Crystal calls Sutton crazy.
I don't think she's lying.
Listen, she was there. No, this is what was funny. It wasn't even so much funny that she called that woman crazy. What was funny was that Sutton was like, well, that's just not a really nice thing to say. And Crystal was like, I don't know how else you want me to describe it.
I didn't like how she was trying to sit here and like almost be this woman's mother saying, oh, well, let's not do the sarcasm. And this is one of those which is like, okay, hold on, time out. Because for me, it would have been one of those, I would have went from trying to be open to who the fuck are you talking to? Because you don't tell me how to respond, especially when you're the one trying to clear this shit up. Not saying that you have to eat crow of what it is that I'm saying, but if I want to sit here and giggle a little bit, because she got mad and she giggled. If I want to giggle, damn it, I can giggle.
Right. Now, the only thing that irritated me in that moment, because again, I cackled, I thought it was hilarious. But the thing that irritated me in that moment was, Crystal, now is the time to say what you need to say to Sutton. Like, y'all are getting it out there. So if you had a problem with Sutton coming in your room, if it made you feel some kind of way, if it took you, it took you off guard, now is the time to say to Sutton,
yeah.
And when you came in my room last night and you saw that I was naked, I didn't appreciate that. I felt some kind of way. In my opinion, that was the moment to say what she needed to say. She didn't. We get off the boat. Now they're having dinner at the house. It's the last night they're in Tahoe. They're having dinner at the house. Again, Crystal doesn't. The major thing we see is that Crystal doesn't come to dinner, and Garcelle checks the shit out of Lisa Rinna. Now, I wasn't here for her asking people about their plastic surgery, but I was here for her checking Lisa Rinna on how she treated Denise.
Okay, so before we get to that,
what you got to say? Go ahead.
I'm going to come to Crystal's offense ever so slightly.
Okay.
Ever so slightly. So her not bringing up that sensitive topic on the boat, I don't know the reason. I really don't. But I'm not too mad, and here's why. I've gotten better over the years because it used to take me like a week or two before I can come to somebody with an issue, because a lot of the times I have to examine the situation from different points of view. Because a lot of the times I be tripping, and I have to really be like, are you tripping? So it takes me a minute before I can have the conversation. I've now gotten to a point where, I told you earlier about, I cut somebody out at the repass. It is what it is. Like I said, she pissed me off. I cussed out. The only thing is, in the moment of when the thing happened, I didn't say nothing. I gave it like an hour and a half. One for us to move to the second repass, for me to calm down, make sure I had my words right. Like I said, for me, it's taking me time to get to a point where I can address it either in the moment or within 24 hours. You have some people that might not be able to. I don't know. She hadn't explained it. With her not showing up to dinner, I understand that, because hell, if I know that my energy finna sit here and mess up,
Uh-oh.
So I understood that. Oh, am I back?
You're back.
You see me?
You good. You good now.
Okay.
Oh, I understood her not coming to dinner. Because I'm the same
yeah.
way. I know when I get in my feelings, when I got an attitude, let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't see this part of me because I don't come on here when I'm in a bad mood. Okay? Listen, when I'm in one of my moods, I am a bitch. Period. I'm a bitch. And because I'm an adult now and I understand that about myself, I don't subject others to that. If it's at all possible, I don't subject others to it. I stay where I am. I stay in my lane. I don't, because I know how I am. And I know my mouth. My mouth is lethal. I say shit. I don't have no, listen, I don't have no gatekeeper. If it's here, it's coming out. And so I understand that 100%. Like, I get that. I do. I get that. And one thing that came out of the conversation with Lisa Rinna, Lisa was trying to, again, defend what she did, talking about, I just wanted Denise to own it. I wanted Denise to own it. And then they did the shit that I hate. I hate when I feel like people do this in arguments when they feel like they're not winning. Then they kind of say, well, you don't know the whole story. And that's what they did. Then all of a sudden, Lisa Rinna pivoted and was like, well, I know more of the story than y'all know. And me and Denise were, because now all of a sudden you and Denise were really good friends. But this whole time, we weren't that close. Now all of a sudden, y'all were so close, you got this inside story. And that's why you was feeling the way you was feeling. Go ahead, y'all.
All right, so first, Oak Street, I'm actually a Capricorn. Just want to point that out right quick. But no, what I was going to say is with that conversation, it was actually Erika that helped Lisa to do that pivot.
Right.
Because Erika was like, well, she knew some things. Oh, I don't know nothing. So it's almost like, I don't know if those two were in cahoots, but Erika kind of threw the bone out there for her to pick it up and to run with it. But I think we've already said it when it came to the whole Denise Richards thing. Whether or not you want her to come forth with the truth, that ain't your business. She ain't got to tell you nothing. But what I wanted is for her to be like, look, I came to work that day. those days. I was trying to make some good motherfucking TV, and that's all.
That's all.
That's
all
it
was. She was trying to make good TV. And again, I said it last season. I'll say it now, and then we're going to move on because I'm not about to sit here and spend no more time on Denise. We spent enough time on her ass last season. But let me say this. Do I think Denise slept with Brandy? Yes. I do. Do I think that if Denise did not want it to be a part of the story, y'all trying to make it part of the story? You know what I'm saying? Like Brandy was trying to get back on the show. And so she brought that story to producers thinking that was going to backdoor her back on the show. She was trying to get her diamond back. Okay. And that's all that was about last season. That's it. And that's all. But again, y'all can go back and watch last season reviews. I ain't about to go down that road, but go ahead, y'all. You can say what you got to say.
Just one last thing.
You good?
Lisa didn't have a storyline last season. So because she didn't have a storyline,
well, Lisa ain't got a storyline this season.
But what I'm saying is because she didn't have one last season, you know what happens on these shows when someone doesn't have a storyline. They make someone else's life or someone else's storyline their storyline. That right there is the true reason. It was her coming to work, but it was also, I don't have nothing. This is an easy check. So I'll be the one to sit here and start the BS. And here we go. So now she has to deal with the aftermath of it. And I'm going to be honest. I'm glad Garcelle's keeping her foot on her damn post when it comes to this. Because it's just like, because at the same exact time, if they let this ride and Lisa stays on this show, any one of them.
C. Golden said, cough, can you cough?
Hey.
Exactly, O Street. And Garcelle is definitely playing the race card to her advantage. I agree with that 100%. So later on that night, we saw Sutton, and Lisa Rinna. They did a little synchronized swimming little situation, yada, yada, yada. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is Erika once again used that situation because, yes, she gave them a pass, so to speak. She gave Lisa Rinna an alley-oop, but she also used it because you saw what she did in her confessional. I think people don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. Like, you never know the whole story. And I'm like, once again, you setting yourself up for your story, for your situation. So yeah, she gave Lisa Rinna the life jacket, but it was really for her. Anyway. So later on that night, Crystal talks to go ahead. Huh?
No, I'm just saying she's being smart. Because if she was really being smart, we wouldn't have been in her house at the beginning of the season, showing off all your ish.
Well, but in last night's episode, that moment came full circle because you saw that was part of her escape plan, and she was actually selling that stuff because she's so broke. You saw it, again, because I said the same thing when I first saw it, but then last night I said, oh, okay. That's what that was. You were really cleaning you weren't just going through your shit and showing off. You were actually showing, not us, but showing the judge and everybody else. See, I sold all of that stuff and I didn't take any, and that's the other thing. We won't get to Miss Erika, but that was the other thing about last night about how she didn't take hardly anything and she left so much stuff at the house. Girl, bye. We're going to get to Miss Erika Jayne. Anyway.
I still like Erika.
I like Erika, but listen, I like Erika, but I don't like Erika. But I'm very conflicted on Miss Erika Jayne, but we're going to get there. So later on that night, Crystal came to talk to Kyle, and that's when Crystal told Kyle the story about Sutton coming in her room. Now, I saw what you said, baby girl, and I hear what you're saying, but I just think that we have to be careful with words that we use because there are words that are triggers. And to say you felt violated over something, and maybe because I know that, okay. I just think that's a trigger word. And I think that's a harsh word for what happened. I could see if Sutton sat down on the side of the bed and had a conversation while that woman was sitting there naked. Sutton was 100% wrong for opening that door. And I said it when she did it. She was 100% wrong for opening that woman's door. Absolutely, she was. But I just don't think that what Sutton did rose to the and she violated me. But I'm, listen, y'all ain't gotta agree with me. It's cool. But Sutton was wrong for walking in that woman's room. But that's why Crystal said she ain't come to dinner, because she was just over Sutton. She was tired of fighting with Sutton, and she felt some kind of way about what Sutton had done. You can say what you got to say.
I don't really have much to say, but for Morgan, when I say I like Erika, it's within the parameters of this show. Because I haven't really been following any of what's been going on, and I know there was a little expose or whatever that was done. What was it? The housewife and the hustler?
Uh-huh.
But again, I have been dealing with the death. So I wasn't even involved in all of that.
Right,
so I
right.
Erika from what I see on this show. So I like that Erika. Now, in terms of what she and her husband was doing, look, you either gonna pay on the back end, the front end, or at the very end. And I think he's more towards the very end than she is. So, I mean, that's really all I gotta say about that.
Like I said, I'm gonna get to Miss Erika Jayne. So the next day they leave. Now what we didn't really see, we find out on the next episode. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop it here. On the plane on the way home, Dorit and Kyle get into it. Dorit is doing what she does best, which is talk. Kyle decided she had something to say, so she interrupted Dorit. It became a whole back and forth between Dorit and Kyle. In Kyle's mind, Dorit yelled at her. In Dorit's mind, she just told Kyle that she was being rude and interrupted her. And as a result, Kyle turned on her white woman tears. And even Dorit was like, girl, are you serious right now? Like, you really crying? Now say what you got to say.
Before I say what I have to say, I have to ask a question.
Sure.
And I wish Lil Baby was here because I know she would have the answer. But
I might have the answer.
Okay. Isn't there
I'm joking. I probably don't.
Isn't there a scandal going on with Mauricio?
Okay. The short answer is yes, and you're right, Lil Baby would have had a better answer. But part of what the scandal is with Mauricio, and this goes back to Kathy Hilton. Mauricio used to work for Kathy Hilton's husband, for the Hilton guy. And he left, and that's when he started the agency. And the Hiltons accused him of taking clients and things of that nature when he left and started the agency. And so that has been a whole back and forth with them. Now there's another scandal with Mauricio in reference to his businesses. I think he's had to close some of his offices and some things of that nature. So the answer is, the short answer is yes. The long answer is I don't have all of the details, but yes, there is some stuff with Mr. Mauricio.
Well, this is why I asked that. Because I feel that maybe Kyle was trying to pick this fight. Maybe Kyle was trying to pick this fight because she doesn't want what is going on with Mauricio to come to light. Because honestly, this fight really wasn't that big of a thing for me. But also, I like how Kyle picks and chooses who she wants to sit here and bow the fuck up on. Because she's done it to Dorit twice. But I like the fact that when it was all said and done, Dorit was just like, you know what? I'm cool on you. You can stay here with your emotions. Hubby, she low-key pulled a Wanda. I'm rest to go.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, yeah. He said immediately or in a few minutes. She said immediately or sooner. I said, now listen. She said immediately or sooner. Okay, so at the end of that episode of Tahoe is when we get the infamous text message from Erika where she's telling all the ladies, listen, you're gonna hear about it tomorrow. I'm letting you guys know. I consider you guys close friends, but I filed for divorce today. Yada yada yada. Here's what pisses me off about Kyle, and I think we just said this similar. Everything is not about you, ma'am. The first thing out her mouth is, well, I can't believe she didn't tell us. I thought we were closer friends than that. Woman, you just got a whole text message. You found out before the rest of the world. I don't know what else you wanted from this woman. She did tell you. So because she wasn't confiding every fight and argument and every little low down dirty detail, ma'am, she did tell you.
I hope that at the reunion, and if Erika is watching this, Erika, this is a freebie. You can have this for free. What I want you to do is when this comes up and they play that beautiful bean footage, you turn directly to Kyle. And I want you to say to her, so you wanted me to tell you personally about this, but what about Mauricio and ABCXYZ? That needs to be the way that you sit here and just give it to just come for the throat.
Listen.
Come straight for it.
Okay. So allegedly, O Street is saying that Mauricio's got some cheating rumors about him as well. And yeah, so I wouldn't be shocked. Listen, I would sleep with Mauricio. And I don't even normally go that way. You know, I don't normally, you know, I stay blackity black with my man. But I would listen. I would sleep with Mauricio is fine. Okay.
That ain't got nothing
fine
to do with what we talking about right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I go sideways with that? Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
And I'm back. Okay, I'm back. But
I heard some drippity drops and splash waterfalls going on over there. Clean up on aisle 7, somebody.
So Kyle is having a what's that thing called? Election night party. Now, of course, Erika's not coming because that's the day that she filed for divorce, so she wasn't showing up. Okay, and Kyle wanted a patriotic theme, and in perfect passive aggressive style, Dorit shows up in a green and black Clueless outfit because it looked straight out of the movie Clueless. That looked like that outfit that girl had on in Clueless with that green and black. Even her husband, who was from Britain, had to tell her, "Bubby, that is not patriotic. That's not. You look like you're from Ireland. Like, that's not." But I feel like that was Dorit's, you know, thumbing her nose at Kyle. Like, yes, I'm pissed off at you. And no, I'm not going to play this game with you. Because we know that Dorit is good for a theme. Okay. Dorit and Erika Jayne are going to give you a theme. So, yeah. Unpopular opinion. Mo is not that attractive to me. He kind of looked delayed. Ooh. Oh. Well, that's okay, Morgan. That's cool. So they're having so what happened at the damn party? Dorit and Kyle had the conversation with Dorit basically after Kyle tried to talk to her, and Dorit was like, well, first of all, last year you told me to go fuck myself and you want to put parameters on our friendship, but I didn't do that with you last year. I accepted your apology and I moved on. So you coming at me the way you coming at me, I'm not dealing with it. And Kyle, that shit cracked me up when Dorit stood up and walked off, and Kyle was like, well, why are you leaving? Dorit was like, because I'm done.
I loved how she handled that because I really do think Kyle was doing what a lot of people love to do, and it's like, okay, I have all of this on, even though I feel like her emotions were fake as fuck, but I have all this emotion and anger and angst and whatnot, so I'm gonna grab this person, I'm gonna spark a conversation, I'm gonna say some things to trigger you so I can pass the emotions off to you. And then when you get mad, oh, why are you yelling? Why are you mad? Because that's what Kyle is good for doing. The thing is, she wasn't expecting Dorit to be like, Heifer, I see you for your works.
Right. She wasn't expecting that energy. Right.
I was here for it. I was just like, oh, okay. I might like Dorit. Because I normally don't see it for her. But in that moment, yeah.
I'm up and down with Dorit. Like I wasn't there for Dorit when she first came on the show, but Dorit gives me moments now. Like that episode, Dorit gave me a whole moment because when she got up, I was so here for her. When she got up and started walking off, and Kyle was like, Dorit, I want us to resolve this. Why are you walking away? And she was like, because I'm done. And then she proceeded to pack up her husband, and then her husband PK talking about something I didn't even eat though. She was like, you ain't hungry. We had a hamburger before we left the house. Listen, she went straight black woman in that moment. You wasn't hungry.
I was surprised she ain't say we can get something on the way home.
Like tell the driver to hit that White Castle real quick. Ain't nobody tripping off of you. Okay?
Over there, Taco Bell over there. We can get some food.
Okay. So the other thing we saw that night, Sutton met Crystal's husband, and he kind of liked her. They have friends in common, you know. He was cool with Sutton. Crystal let us know that she does have an eating disorder that she struggled with. We find out later on in the episode, and this is something I wish I forgot to put it in my review, and I wish I had remembered. But she explained to us that she grew up with that longing for the European beauty. And in her mind, the American beauty. She wanted to be American. And in her mind, what that translated to was blonde hair, blue eyes. Basically, in her mind, American was white, right? And how she struggled with that growing up, and that she did have an eating disorder, and that even to this day, it wasn't something she shared with her parents. So they're going to find out about it, on the show, I guess. We saw where the different parenting styles between her and her husband. She's the helicopter mom. He's more of the pushover, but I could have told you that. What else happened at the election night? And Sutton was the smartest person in the room, because when Sutton got there, Sutton said, well, we're not going to find out tonight. She said, we probably won't find out till December. I said, well, y'all done sat there and let Sutton be the smartest person in the room, child.
Oh, and what also happened is Lisa Rinna has said to Crystal's husband about her opening up about her eating disorder and everything. So they actually had that conversation when they were at home, because he was shocked that she even opened up to them.
Right. He was like, I'm surprised, right, that you shared that with them. Yeah.
And it's a good thing that happened. And what? Never mind. Never mind. Let's keep going.
No, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is like with when I was in South Korea, I did see that.
The Lord must not want us to know.
There is a lot of bleaching. There is a lot of. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Well,
yes.
We know that happens in the Caribbean, that they bleach their skin. There's a lot of bleaching that goes on.
But there is even to the degree where obviously, anyone in Asia, they are melanated, obviously. But in South Korea, there is this divide where if you have any tint to your skin, and a lot of the ones that do work outside. So that's one of those things where they can tell what you do for a living. So if the lighter you are, or the more fair you are, the closer you are to that European standard of beauty, the darker you are, it's just like, eh. So it's a lot of that. So when she said that, like, I understood where that was coming from, even though I'm pretty sure she is Asian American, but spending time over in Asia, it was one of those where I understood what she was trying to say without really going all the way down that rabbit hole. So that's all.
I understand. Oh, man.
It took me a second to figure out that she went mute. Okay, so she wants me to keep it going. Okay. Let's see. I actually need for her to keep it going because I don't have any notes. So.
Sorry about that, y'all. My bad. I didn't realize I was gonna say all I said. Okay. I had to get some stuff straight over here. Okay. So that was election night. The only other thing we really saw go down, we had a moment with Kathy Hilton. They went to Sutton's establishment because she wants to have a party at her house. And they built up this whole episode to this moment where Erika is going to be with them at this event at Sutton's house, right? I don't think too much else went on with that episode. I want to make sure. Sutton bought a Bentley. Was that this episode? I feel like that was the next episode, but I just throw it out there. She said that's the first time she ever bought a car and didn't have to ask permission, which I thought was a big deal. I mean, I wouldn't mind my first car when I ain't got to ask permission to be a Bentley, a drop top Bentley. Okay, I mean, a drop top Bentley. So later on at the end of the episode, we have this whole dramatic moment where Erika walks in the door, and that's where the episode ends. So of course, the next episode we pick up, which is this episode. So we're up to date now. Anything that I missed that we need to get before we get to Miss Erika Jayne?
Hold on, wait. Was that I'm not caught up? I thought I got caught up. So dang nabbit.
You didn't see what Erika actually.
No, I thought the episode of her walking in and she just sitting there. I thought that was this week's episode.
No. Dang, y'all. It's annoying, Whitney. Whitney, that is absolutely annoying. I feel I that pisses me off every time I hear Kyle remind everybody that Sutton is renting her house, because I'm like, oh, while she living there, it's her house, okay?
Well, look, just go ahead and talk about it, and I'll just give what commentary I can, because as soon as we get done, I'm about to go in there and watch them.
Okay, well, listen. So here's the thing: Bravo is milking the Erika situation. Of course they are, and I saw some people earlier in the chat saying that they feel like Bravo is protecting Erika or what have you. To a certain extent, I do feel like they are for as much as they can right now. They'll protect Erika until it's no longer feasible for them to protect. And when I don't want to say the word protect, because I don't think they're protecting Erika, but I do think that they are trying to give Erika the good spin.
But at the same time, though, they're doing the same thing that they did with Teresa. As long as they're a benefit to Bravo, meaning that they can capitalize on the story and they can milk it, of course they're going to, because what Bravo doesn't want, unless it's in her contract, they don't want another network to grab Erika and make money off of Erika, because that will be foolish on their part. Now I'm gonna ask y'all this question: do y'all feel that Bravo is going to protect Jigsaw from the Salt Lake City?
I don't think so, because I think it's a little different. I think in both Teresa and Erika's case, at least as far as we know, they have plausible deniability. Jen is absolutely on the front line. She's the one indicted. She's the one being accused. In Teresa's case, Teresa could always feign ignorance. I just signed some papers that my husband put in front of me. And it's the same thing with Erika. Erika's going to say the same thing. He was my husband. He said, this is paperwork. I just signed the paperwork. Whether they knew what they were signing or not, they're never going to admit it. But they have that plausible deniability that they can hide behind their husbands. Jen Shaw, no ma'am, Pam. You on the front line of this indictment.
Well, not just that. They've been on their particular shows for a handful of seasons.
And that makes a difference too.
We just met you and you cut a plump food at the reunion and throughout the whole season. So, woo! I'm sorry. I had to ask that question because you went mute, so I was trying to keep the ball rolling.
No, that's fine. Right. And I know that people are gonna make it a color thing because Jen is, she's Asian. Well, she Polynesian. I know, and I'm not saying that color doesn't play a part, but what I'm saying is it's not an equal. In my opinion, it's not an equal comparison. I just don't think it's an equal comparison. I do think that's part of it as well. That Jen Shaw was a train wreck on her show, and again, what she's being accused of is like crazy.
And I'm still trying to figure out, like, if you knew that you was this deep in some stuff, why would you go on a reality show?
Yes. Knowing that everybody these days think that they are a detective and that they want to deep dive into your business. So last night's episode, I call it the spin cycle. It was all about spinning Erika's story. What we got last night was Erika's version of the story. So Erika, at the dinner at Sutton's house, they made some small talk, and so Erika she was like, well, I guess we just need to address the elephant in the room. And so she went on to say how she didn't tell them ahead of time because she didn't want to put them in a position to tell them something that serious that they would have to keep a secret. Translation, I don't know which one of you hoes I can trust. So I ain't tell y'all nothing because I ain't know if I could trust y'all not to say it. That's it. That's how I took it. Number two, she talked about how she left. She said that basically, now she's turning Tom into a monster. All of these years, he was the greatest husband ever. He's so sweet. He's so kind. He's so this. He's so that. Now he's the big bad wolf. She talked about how he's been pulling away for years, and it got to the point where she was being pushed further and further out of his circle. Again, pay attention to everything she's saying. Now she's saying, I was being pushed further and further out. I don't know what's going on with him. Yada, yada, yada. And she said that she just found herself walking around that big old house alone. Right? Everything was calculated. And you're not going to tell me that Erika doesn't know exactly what she's doing and exactly what she's saying. Mm-hmm. She said she did purposely file on election day, hoping that it would get buried. Because the election was such a crazy election, she thought it would get buried. And she said that she took him to work that day. She had already rented the house, and she had movers come in that whole day. And she made it seem like she didn't take that much stuff. She took a little bit of furniture. She didn't even take enough furniture to furnish her whole house. She just took a little bit of stuff. And I'm like, if you think that I don't think that you had all that time to plan, that you already had a house rented, and you already knew you was going to take him to work that day and all this other stuff, you mean to tell me that I don't think that you got everything you wanted out that house? You might have left stuff. I ain't saying she took every single thing, but you think that I don't believe that you went by the bank and hit that safe deposit box and got all that jewelry, and that you didn't, ma'am, Erika, you got everything you wanted. I promise you did.
But my thing is, why not? Like, I didn't see the episode, but I would think if they have apartments, why didn't you get one? Or if you did get a house, did you get a small one? Because this is one of those where you got to convince the courts that I ain't really got much, so you need to.
I mean, by her standards, yes. By our standards, no. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath bungalow. She's still, I don't know if she's in Beverly Hills, but it's still a nice ass house with a pool and a deck, and it's still a nice ass house.
That's a lot though.
That's what I'm saying. But they said that right now she's making more money than he is because, he's under a conservatorship, just like Brittany. He gets a $3,000 a month stipend. She makes more money than him right now off of her Beverly Hills money and what other endorsements and stuff like that she has. So in all reality, they don't have a prenup. So what she thought was a good thing by her not having a prenup might end up biting her in the ass when it's all over said and done. But with that being said, so then after that, I think that's when Sutton went and bought the Bentley. Erika had a conversation with Lisa Rinna, and we got a little more information. So then we found out that that's when she started talking about how mean he was to her and how cold he treated her. And she starts telling us stories about him making comment. He made a comment to one of his colleagues. His colleague said something to him about Erika was late for dinner. And she said, I'm so sorry, I got caught in traffic. And the guy joked and said, oh, you should have a better man. If you had a better man, you wouldn't have to worry about traffic. Some joke like that. And then his response to the guy was, well, If you think you can afford her, you can have her. Then she talked about how everybody thought that, she felt for a long time that she sort of was obligated to stay with him because he was good to her and good to her son and treated her really well, and how everybody thought that she was the cocktail waitress that made out good, and she did feel like there was a pressure for her to stay because of how good he was to her. And it was so calculated as far as I'm concerned. So, and she said these girls have no idea what's coming. She was like, it's so much more to this that they have no idea about. And Bravo, and this is where I think the people in the chat are saying how Bravo's protecting her, because Bravo showed this clip of Tom. This was a couple of seasons back, because it was when Lisa Vanderpump was still on the show. They were at dinner, and Lisa was talking, and Tom I guess Lisa was cutting him off, and he was like, excuse me, I'm talking right now. And Lisa was like, excuse me. And then he said something about him being the head of his firm. And Erika was like, well, we know. And he was like, Erika, I'm talking. And I was like, oh, so now we're going to turn Tom into the big bad wolf when Erika has never said anything bad about this man. Now he's the big bad wolf. Now, that's not to say that he wasn't. You never know what goes on behind closed doors. But again, it is so calculated what's happening.
Well, obviously they have a whole lot of footage, but it's kind of weird they do it sometimes, but not all the time, where if the housewife is saying one thing, it kind of looks fishy for them to show footage of something completely different, unless it's a narrative that the show is trying to spin. Because we've seen it happen before where, they'll tell a lie, but then they got the footage to show like, no, you lying. But for her to have said all these years how good he is, I'm pretty sure they have footage of him being a complete and utter asshole.
Absolutely. And let's be clear. I believe Tom Girardi probably is an asshole. Like, I believe he probably is. But what I'm saying is, I just find it everything last night, when you see the episode, text me and you tell me your opinion. But it just was so calculated last night. Everything Erika did and said was so rehearsed and calculated. Even at the end of the episode, when she was like, these girls really have my back and I'm gonna need them because it's getting ready to get really rocky. It's so much more that they just don't know. Now, of course, we know what she means now because the shit done hit the fan. But of course, when this was going on, these are her confessionals and this is the spin. Now, the one thing I will say is, y'all in the chat, y'all tell me in the chat, would y'all have let Erika up in y'all house the way she was dressed at the end of this episode when they went over Crystal House? Honey, Erika had on an outfit that was so damn short that I know that when she sat down, you could see all her hoo-ha. And then she had a nerve to say she didn't have no panties on. Now, you remember, you've been watching all of the seasons. You remember how much of a kerfuffle her, Dorit, and PK, when PK made the comment, but she announced to everybody that she didn't have no panties on. And that dress was so short. And then she spent the whole night talking about sex and how she was going to get her some sex. And how at the beginning of the year, she was going to wait until the end of the year. But as soon as 2021 got here, she was going for hers. And that she was just going to have a lot of random sex. She wasn't looking for no man. I said, oh, so that's what we doing. Okay. Now, you done walked up in my house damn near. You done walked up in my house damn near naked in front of my $1 billion husband. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
But here's another thing, though. Like, she needs to be a little bit more calculating. Like, she needs to be dressing not down as in down. She needs to downgrade what she's wearing to give off the appearance that she ain't got nothing.
Well, that's why that picture that came out this week, that picture, I believe, was so calculated. Did you see that picture?
No.
Oh, honey. That picture of Erika this week with the wig all frizzed out and matted, and she don't have on no makeup, and she's got these sunglasses on, and she is looking, listen, when I say she's looking busted and crusted, and you're not going to tell me that that wasn't done on purpose, because Erika is too conscious of her appearance. And I'm not even talking about the makeup part. Okay, you don't got to go out in full glam, but you could comb your hair into a damn ponytail. And she was like, I didn't know you had to get in the full glam to go out and pump gas. No, girl, you purposely did that. That was very purposeful. You going out there looking a hot damn mess. Hold on, let me see if I can find you that picture, honey. You'll be like, what in the hell? Let me see. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Damn it. Oh, here it is. Yep, there it is right there. Hold on. I just had it. I don't know if you can be able to see it. I don't know if it's too small for you to see. Can you see that? Now you know good and damn well. You know good that Wendy Williams called her dog the bounty hunter. See, no ma'am. Wendy, no ma'am.
Woo! All right.
A minute.
Okie dokie.
But you're not going to tell me that that wasn't calculated to say, look, I'm so broke, I can't even get a good wig. Because listen, did you see how bad that picture looked? Come on, Erika. O Street said that she probably tipped off. She probably did call the paparazzi.
More than likely.
Because she don't even look like herself. Like, if I walked past her, I wouldn't think she would. I would walk right past her. I would walk right past her.
Oh, God.
Honey. Well, she said that on last night's episode, I left the Lamborghini. I just bought me a new car, a Range Rover. And she said it like, that's the bottom of the barrel. Bitch, I'm sure it was a 2022 model, fully loaded, custom whatever. Okay, you left your Lamborghini, but ma'am, you left your Lamborghini and picked up a brand new Range Rover. I'm not feeling sorry for you, ma'am.
You should feel sorry for her.
Anyway, y'all, you watched that episode, and I want you to text me and tell me what you felt when you watched that damn episode, or how you felt, I should say, when you watched that damn episode.
Okay.
Ciao. Ostry said she drove to the gas station with her wig hanging out so it would look messed up. Yeah. What else did she say, y'all? I think that's pretty much the gist of it. She talked about how she dropped him off at work and told him, I love you. And he was like, okay, honey, or something like that. And she felt like he just blew her off, and, I just knew, that was just, and I thought about maybe asking for a trial separation, but he's just old school and it's just all or none. Girl, you don't want to trial nothing. What you was trying to do was get out of there. You was trying to get that divorce done before the shit hit the fan is what you was trying to do. And there's even a part of me that feels like Tom is in on it. Like, there's a part of me that feels like they sat down and came up with this plan to try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that she did this. I just don't believe that. Bless you.
I mean, if anything, like, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure her lawyer told her what to say, but in this instance, her husband actually more than likely is her lawyer. So, yeah. She's
talking about something. She had him served that when I guess by the time he got home from work that night, she wasn't there, and he was served the next day. So he ain't call you. He ain't come looking for you. He ain't call you. You just ain't come home that night. He ain't care. So that's why I said I really do want to still like Erika, but listen, The one thing I will say though is I'm gonna give Erika A for the calculated way she's handling this. She's doing the best she can with this situation. Now I don't think it's gonna get her out of it because it's a lot of the legal side of this is a whole lot of. But I'm definitely listen. Last night she gave us a grade A performance last night.
Well, I mean, she was on Broadway. She was in Chicago, so
Oh yeah, allegedly Tom was on a date with his ex-girlfriend last night, or I mean not last night, but last week, and the paparazzi got pictures. Now, mind you, he's supposed to be having onset Alzheimer's, and he needs help. He needs this is all the stuff that's in the court documents, and he needs a caregiver and all of that. But you found time to find a date.
I mean, I don't think he's completely senile.
Well, I don't know. Right, that's better than Jen. See, and that's another reason why Jen shot. You talking about something they should throw the charges out because you couldn't read your Miranda rights because you had your contacts were dry and it was blurry. See, if that's the best your lawyers can come up with, you deserve to go to jail. That's all I got to say about that.
Insurrection, and I think.
I mean, that's the best you could come up with. Is that your eyes was blurry, so you couldn't read your Miranda right warning. So they should throw it out. That's the best you can come up with. You deserve to go to jail.
Well, you know what? Though I really am enjoying Beverly Hills, I cannot wait for Salt Lake City to come back because from what I understand, they caught on tape when the police got her.
Yeah, she was filming.
Oh, this is going down to TV history.
Yeah, she was actually, they were getting ready to do something. And she was filming.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I can't wait also because I heard that it got physical, that there was a physical altercation. I don't know if that's true. When the trailer dropped, we'll find out. When the trailer dropped, if I had to guess, I would say Heather and Jen. But the rumor was that it was Lisa.
I can see it. I mean, you saw how unhinged Lisa was. Was it Lisa?
Lisa, yeah, it was Lisa.
How unhinged she became at the I was just like, ooh, they need to recalibrate your meds. I don't know what is going on. So I can see it.
Can I do some research on why Jen Shah's husband went from being a lawyer, owning his own practice, to a college football coach? I knew he was a lawyer. I didn't know he had his own practice, though. I know he worked for, the article I read said he worked for one of the top law firms in Salt Lake City. But I can try to find out. I mean, I don't know. But the reality is he played football, and that might just been a dream of his to be a coach. I don't know. I know you read something Young Rich said.
Said, I hope they feel Bubba Mary's reaction.
Yeah,
That's just gonna be hilarious. Y'all know Barry is gonna have a field day with that. Be like, I might be a motherfucker, but I ain't not here. I'ma stop.
Right.
Okay, wait. Oh, that's gonna be some good shit. That's gonna be good.
I heard he was. And here's the reality, O Street. I mean, I can try to find for you, honey. I ain't no detective. I can try. But at the end of the day, it may just be something as simple as he wanted to coach. He's always wanted to coach. That may just be it. The reality of the situation is coaching is just like any other job. If you have to start at the bottom, but if you get to the top, I mean, he could make more money being a college coach if he's at the right college. I mean, look at like Nick Saban makes over $10 million a year. So that doesn't include his endorsements and all that other stuff. That's just his coaching salary. So it may be something as simple as he got burnt out of doing the law. I have friends who are attorneys, and you just get burnt out. I have a friend. I was just telling somebody the other day. I have a friend of mine who was a forensic scientist for the FBI. She had her PhD at 24, she left the profession to become a teacher. And I know she's making less money teaching than what she was making, but she got burnt out. She got tired of doing it. It wasn't fun anymore. And she made a career change. So I don't know if it's something more sinister than that, but it really could just be something that basic. But I'll find. I mean, I ain't gonna say I'll find out, but I'll see if I can. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, O Street. I mean, and again, it may be more to it than that, but it could just be just that simple. Because like I said, I have friends who, you know, you think that's what you want to do. You go into a profession and then you realize, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, y'all. We're going to get ready to wrap this up. I'm going to try to get you guys a couple of reviews tonight, but my head hurting a little bit. But I'm going to try to get y'all a couple of reviews tonight. Thank y'all for rocking with me and being here. Don't forget, in a couple of weeks, you can catch us over on Scotty by Nature's channel, and we will be ready to get into all of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And Lord have mercy, I think it's going to be a doozy of a season.
I do too. And I also need to get caught up. BET, because I hadn't heard it was in a holler.
Oh yeah, it is. I was gonna try to get a live review of that tonight, but I'm not gonna be able to get it in tonight. I ain't gonna be able to get it in.
What day does it come on?
I was trying to get that. Huh?
What day does it come on?
Wednesday nights. Okay. But yeah,
right,
definitely, it's good. It's a good show. It's a good show.
Because I saw one review, then after seeing the review, I had to click off. I'm like, okay, all right. I need to see it for myself. Because I'm like, okay, so from what I'm understanding, the twins about to give me the blues. I'm like, okay.
Oh, Lord. Them twins, honey. Them Wonder Twin Powers activate, child. When does the panel start? July 15th, right? That Monday after the premiere of Real Housewives of Potomac.
Sound about right. Yeah. Somewhere around there. Yeah,
I think, hold on. Let me look at my calendar, child.
But I heard they came from Mother Pam, and I'm like, no. See, if it's any women you need not come at, it need not be one of the girls from Total, because if y'all remember how the girls from Total showed up ready to put the flip-flops on Wendy Williams, Pam might be saying the same thing, but I'm pretty sure she still got hands. Like, don't be messing with Pam. Don't do that. Don't do that. But now I gotta watch it. And I think I'm 3 episodes behind now?
3 or 4.
Oh gosh darn it.
But I'm telling you, it's good. Once you watch one episode, you're gonna want to keep watching. If nothing else, you're gonna want to keep watching for Nivea crazy ass. Because when I say Nivea is the Kathy Hilton of Encore. She is giving it all to me. Last night at the very end of the episode, she said, I am so disappointed in this. About as disappointed as I am in this wine. I said, you know what? That is how Nivea. Listen, last night Nivea was like, everybody just need to find their lane and get in it. I found my lane sitting back and laughing at everybody. I said, I'm telling you, Nivea is cracking me up. Nivea is cracking me up. She is the Kathy Hilton.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I'm about to watch it. I might even have to give some reviews.
I think you would enjoy it.
But see, I feel like I'm probably gonna get some people to business, and I don't want to have to. Actually, the only person that I really from the lineup, the only ones that I really see it for is Pam, Nivea, and Miss Shoulder Bounce. That's it.
Let me say this. You are going to give people the business, but some people need to get the business. Because first of all, let's be clear. Listen, I said this on my review, and I was very polite how I said it. So you can imagine if I was polite, you know how Terrence said it, okay? Some of these women just, Father Time won't kind to some of them. And the plastic surgery was even worse, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
That was a dig at RBO Day. I already know who that dig was for.
I mean, she went to Kim, Lil Kim's plastic surgeon. I'm just saying.
So everyone, that is all that we have for this week's
O Street, the answer to your question is absolutely. I will be reviewing book 3, Power Book 3, Kanan. It's the prequel and it's Kanan's story. We're gonna get how Kanan became Kanan. I absolutely will be reviewing it. And that is dropping in July. I put a list up of all my shows that I'm reviewing, and when I typed it out, I said, damn, I'm reviewing a lot of damn shows. But anyway, but Power Book 3 drops in July. Real Housewives of Potomac is in July. And Mafia Families is coming back. I mean, what is it? Families of the Mafia on VH1. It's sort of like a spinoff of Mob Wives. It's some of the same families, some of new families, but it's a hot mess either way you look at it. So I did season 1. I will be doing season 2. That's coming at the end of July. And then Power Book 3 is in July. So I'll definitely, I'll be here for it. Hell, if I sat through Power Book 2, that bullshit last season, that I can give y'all Book 3. Because I think Book 3 is going to be good. Anyway, y'all, I'm out. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.